Lisa Joy is here. I hope everyone is having a good day so far. So I just wanted to talk for a second about Escape and SWV. I'm glad it worked out as we knew that it would. What the concert they've had, it's done and over with. We're seeing the workups towards it. It's always going to be some little added extra flair, right? They was going to figure it out one way or another, because at the end of the day, everybody wants to get paid. That's what it truly comes down to. Everyone wants to get paid. What I think has happened, though, SWV was not expecting the amount of attention that was going to come based upon what they were saying on the show. They weren't prepared to deal with it. You can tell. You can tell the difference, because watch how they move as opposed to Candy and Tiny, who are used to dealing with social media, reality TV, limelight, all of it. So it just didn't have the same impact on the two of them as it did with them. I'm not touching Latasha. I'm not. I'm not touching that. So I think that was a big part of what happened there. And I think egos, feelings, and everything else got affected. And it can, right? We're not exempt. We're not exempt from feeling a way about the public saying XYZ. It is, you put yourself in a very vulnerable state by doing what I'm doing right now and what others do. And these are celebrities, and they should be used to critiques. But this level of critiquing is different for them. And it felt like their career was being critiqued. It felt like their talent was being critiqued, when in fact it really wasn't. But it was hard for them to decipher. It was hard for them to distinguish that this is not about an attack on SWV and their ability to perform and do what needs to be done. But we're not going to deny that there are two set standards in performances. Weak is all-time greatest. We know this. I said this. But we know this, right? So, singing that song, who is the main one? The main one is Coco. That's fine, perfect. It didn't stop us from loving the song nevertheless. The performance was good. The performance went to the audience. Understand, nostalgia. I'm from that era. I'd have been singing along too, right? So I get that. You take understanding, you literally catch every voice. You catch every voice. They had a portion, a verse, if not a full verse. It doesn't matter how short it was. You literally heard everyone having their moment in that song. And then the performance overall. But that does not take away the catalog that SWV has. But as far as the performance goes, as far as who's going to pull in and this and that and the other, we see what it is. I'm just glad the ladies got through it, did what they needed to do. Hopefully we'll see more. Probably won't. Not from the two of them. And I find it interesting that, again, attacks on Candy nonstop. I figured out what it is. So, as someone stepping into astrology more and more and more, I'm a Taurus. Candy's a Taurus. Woo, we get attacked a lot. I would love to have plenty of things in common with Candy. This is not it. But we get attacked a lot. We get attacked a lot because we're very vocal. We get attacked a lot because of perceived intimidation. It is not my job. It is not my responsibility to lower myself, my tone. Well, my tone, yes. Erase that. Because you never want to sound like you're hollering at anybody, because then the message is not going to get clear if someone feels like they're being yelled at. But it is not my responsibility to change up my entire demeanor of interacting, voicing my opinion, as long as I'm not being demeaning, as long as I'm not, being overly critical of calling people out their names, things of that nature. You have to be okay in your space for me to continuously be okay in my space. I can't change up entirely how I interact and I vocalize a business mantra for the sake of your ego. I can't. And there's been times where I think people do that. They dim their light for others. But my light should not affect your light in any kind of way. It should not. When there's a chandelier hanging up, there are multiple light bulbs in there. One does not need to be off in order for the other ones to shine bright. They can all shine bright together. So if you can't figure that out when you're in my space, that's not my problem. Because then now I'm going to make myself uncomfortable for the comfort of you. That's not right. So I've noticed that. I've noticed the constant attack.